From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport. And driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Welcome. Thanks for getting your pot on. Thanks for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. Oh, Danny got some stuff for you tonight.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Can't wait. A little later, we'll get to it.
All right.
Odell Beckham Jr.
Uh-oh.
Odell Beckham Jr. talking this stuff. Man, we're supposed to get, where we live, I think 3 to 6 inches over the next, by Saturday night. Just a steady snow.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing that we can't
seen.
handle. You can't stay ahead and all that. But a plane skidded off the runway today at our airport. It's coming in from Philly.
At Frederick Douglass International Airport?
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it landed.
Why, did they change it in the last 5 minutes? I wouldn't be surprised.
No, they didn't. Why?
Well, because, people change all kinds of things.
No, they did not. So the plane, they landed. They were fine. They were turning onto another runway, and it slid off into a field.
You know what you got? You got to turn into the spin, Bill.
And I got
as they teach you. And they have to have anti-lock brakes on those planes. Do they not have anti-lock brakes, or was this like an Alaskan Airlines thing?
I have no idea, but I'm like, have you ever been on a plane that had a problem? Because
no, thank God.
If a plane slides off into even that's a little scary. Imagine it. You're just sliding, and you're noticing, and people are you're relaxed. Maybe your seatbelt's off. You're kicking back. Maybe you're standing up. Some people start to stand up. It's a small plane.
Maybe you just got your CPAP on. You want to take a little nap.
Yeah, people you're seeing iPads and cell phones sliding all over the place. I go, that would be a little bit scary. Now, granted,
was
you're
your
on the
tray
ground.
in the upright position?
You're on the ground, but still, I think the weirdest thing I ever saw when I was on a plane was they came out with duct tape. They were having a problem with the wing, and they just wrapped duct tape around.
Serious?
I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. And they took off, and I was like, I didn't even think. I just went. Okay, I was watching it because I was sitting over the wing, and I'm watching them do this, and I thought, all right, good enough. If they believe it, I can't question it.
Isn't that how the Challenger got in trouble?
No.
They just duct taped it?
I don't know. And if you have now, are you afraid to fly?
No.
I've
never been afraid to fly.
All right.
I just didn't fly until I was 29 years old. Tom Ulay was the first person I ever flew with, and he goes,
"Oh, you guys where'd you go, boot camp?"
Yeah, we went to morning show boot camp. We went down to Nashville.
Yeah.
And he told the story out of the air. So I'm trying to keep Danny calm.
Yeah.
And I'm asking him questions about the Bills because we passed the stadium because we flew out of Buffalo.
Yeah.
And he's MFing this and Belichick and this guy, and everybody's turning around. He's so loud.
So, but there's no fear with that. Do you have any fear of anything? Any kind of I know flying is a big one for people.
Do I have fear? I have anxiety.
Yeah.
It just creeps up. But do I have fears?
Like anything you would, if you had a fear of flying and you didn't want your wife to know, because maybe she does as well, and you want to be supportive, how do you hide that? That's always my thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do remember flying to Nashville this past year, and a woman sitting across from us was praying and doing the sign of the cross every 3 minutes. I felt so bad. And meanwhile, the husband's just yeah, whatever. Next to her, yeah.
Why doesn't he just grab her hand? Doesn't he realize that she's adding to other people's anxiety?
Yeah, she keeps doing the she must have done it 600 times and got her hands full. She's looking out the window.
Well, if it's her way of, I guess, keeping herself sane, what are you gonna do?
I guess but yeah, I mean, do I have fears? I'm sure I do. I just nothing comes to mind. Am I afraid the Bills are going to lose Sunday? Sure.
Right.
But then, after the third, I'll be fine.
Everybody's saying that they don't believe that that's going to happen.
That's the problem, Bill.
Stop.
That's a joke.
So then this happened last night in the Village of Fairport.
Video just into our newsroom on that train that hit a car in Fairport.
Really?
Take a look at your screen here. Fairport police say the driver's GPS told them to turn on Railroad Street, but the driver accidentally turned early, ending up on the tracks. You can see the car down there by those flashing lights in the distance. A citizen actually jumped into action when the car got struck. right there.
Yeah, you
but
see it
before
get hit.
that, the driver did get out. The train then dragging that car half a mile up
Down
the
to
track.
Legestre
Thankfully,
Foods.
no one was hurt, and the car was recovered.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
That's like a
Yeah.
That's like a
So-
mile down the road.
It was a half mile. Yeah,
Half
they went,
mile?
They went about
Okay,
half
it's
mile.
a distance, though.
It is. It takes much longer to go by the roads
Yeah,
to get to Legestre.
that's what they tell you. Like
You're
a train,
just-
it takes a train like a mile to stop.
Yeah.
If there's a car there, maybe just a half mile. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because we were in here last night. All of a sudden, the sirens go off. The air horn that they have in this town, and then we hear the sirens, ambulance going down. But so okay,
so it
You
made
hear
the wrong turn, like in the snow. Was it like?
I don't know.
'Cause that's
it's the GPS. Now we'll
That's
get
totally
to.
something I would do.
All right. Okay.
That's
I'm
totally
so glad.
something I would do.
I'm going to ask you.
I'm such an
to
idiot. Like
profile
okay.
this. Profile this driver to me. In your mind, who's driving that car?
I'm gonna say a grandma.
Okay, all right.
A grandma, with
older,
some glasses.
an older female.
Yeah, probably in her late
female.
60s.
Okay.
And
And
maybe
then-
coming back. Maybe she's got a yoga mat in the back. Maybe not.
Describe the person who rescued them for me.
The person, probably a young person, maybe in their 20s. He probably works
It's so
out.
funny how our brain works because I was thinking in my head, I've got a female driver, and I go, that's pretty misogynistic in a way, I would think.
Tell me it was a woman.
No, I have no idea.
Oh, we don't know who.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I really don't know, and I don't know who sprung into action. I have no idea. That none of that came out in the news. But I
already have my heroic speech in case I ever become a hero. I already have my speech ready to go. I'm waiting for that moment just so I can deliver the speech on the news. And I'm going to end it with, hey, I'm no hero.
All right, hey, hold that thought for a second, because in my head I go female, but I'm like, what if it was a male driver, as you just said?
Yeah,
I would totally see
do
myself
that.
doing that. If you're not familiar with the area and you're following something in Railroad Street and you're turning and it's narrow, right? And you're I could see where someone would go. It could be a guy. It could be right.
Yeah, just following
What if
directions.
it's a guy and it goes right against any stereotype? It's a guy that's hung up on the tracks, and it's a woman that runs out and rescues him, helps him get out.
Yeah.
Right? Helps him get out. What if it's an older guy? I could totally see my old man.
Oh,
You
I can
know?
see your old man doing
Yeah,
that.
my old man
I can see my old man doing it. I can see, you know what?
Anybody.
There are guys who just live for these moments.
Yes.
They're called volunteer firefighters, EMTs and stuff. I'll save you, ma'am. I mean, in my hometown, dude, we might have had 3 or 4 emergencies a year, but man, 70 people would show up.
Right.
They do victory laps around the house. They had the strobes in the car.
I know. I grew up in a small town.
This is a big deal.
Yeah, it was something like
The
that.
funniest part was if there was a parade, they'd all be in uniform going down the parade. If there's a real emergency. Tough break. We got a parade today.
So I have no idea who this was in the car, and I don't know how they got it. But I would tell you that GPS is sometimes tough to follow.
Yes, it is.
How many times have we done it? I will tell you, I've had Waze as a GPS.
Mm-hmm.
I like the apps better than I do some of the stuff that comes with the cars. And I really have become a fan of Google Maps. And the Google, which is right in your phone, is so much better because it'll tell you at the next light, turn left.
Oh, okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Whereas Waze would be like, cop on the left.
Well, no, but Waze will go, coming up in 300 feet. Well, sometimes you can't judge 300 feet because you're driving, you're watching cars, you're trying to.
And then I'm thinking, okay, so if I were at the stadium and I were in the end zone,
got it.
waiting for a punt, what would a football field look like?
But I mean,
That's
it's
300
hard.
feet.
It's hard to yes, it is. It's hard to judge distance when you're also judging and there's roads that are coming up quick, so you make the left, and you're trying to read the sign, and it's dark. And
I was a Lyft driver, so I know.
Yes.
There's times when I missed exits and stuff because the GPS was taking me on a different route.
That's why I think the honestly the Google Maps is the best one I've ever had, and I use it all the time because it'll tell you next left into streets, turn right, whatever. So that would be this poor person. I mean, what if you're there? And all of a sudden you see this, oh my God, somebody's stuck on the tracks, and you hear the train coming.
Oh, yeah.
And your wife gets out, jumps and runs into.
My wife would do that.
I know. I
could do
know.
it.
Yes. But she runs out there and helps the person get off.
And I'd be like,
you're trying to catch her, telling her not to go.
Boo, don't do that. Why? Because you're embarrassed? Yes.
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 Because I'm embarrassed.
100% yes.
Ah.
What's funny, because on the GPS in Rochester, because, we have so many, eloquent pronunciations of regular words,
Yeah.
like lilac, which is lilac, Lada, which is Lada, Manitou, which is spelled Manitou.
Yeah.
I mean, and on the GPS, they oftentimes, get the pronunciations wrong.
Right.
It's not Rochesterese. Or
yes, it is not.
It
is not. I want to hear what would you say if you did, let's say you rescued the person.
Mm-hmm.
TV stations come out.
Okay, let's say I'm at my house, right?
Yeah.
So I was in my house reading my Tony Robbins book, How to Wake the Giant Within. And even though I wasn't finished with the book, I knew that giant had to come out right there. But hey, I'm no hero. Or like Eminem. I was in the house listening to my Will Smith CD, and I don't want to do that one. I was I was listening to my Doobie Brothers records, and all of a sudden, I sprung into action.
One more from the local news here. This is one that I don't know. It just seems to happen. You've got women of a certain age, and I always say white women when we hear embezzlement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over a course of 3 years,
she stole
$300,000
from the dollar store.
Yeah, we go. I'm going profile that person.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a woman between 45 and 65.
Yeah.
White.
At least
somewhat
250
heavy set,
bills.
Somewhat heavy set.
Thick.
Somewhere between 180 and 220.
Yeah.
And that's the story. Well, today there's this person, not exactly the same job, but I looked at the mugshot and I went, oh my God, that looks like my mom.
Well, she was hired to clean houses, but police say she was cleaning out jewelry boxes instead.
Cleaning out jewelry boxes instead. Okay, here we go.
Well, she was hired to clean houses, but police say she was cleaning out jewelry boxes instead.
State police have arrested a woman accusing her of taking more than $54,000 in jewelry from homes in Geneseo.
Our Marcia Augusta.
By the way, who knew Geneseo had $54,000 worth of jewelry?
If you're listening to this podcast and you need a few dollars, Geneseo might be the jackpot.
I didn't know. $54,000 in jewelry. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, here we go.
From homes in Geneseo.
Our Marcia Augustin spoke to police about the investigation.
Police say not only did the Geneseo woman steal personal belongings from the homes, she then pawned the items.
Well, yeah.
Okay, how long has the investigation been going on before it got to this?
So back in November is when this started, at the beginning of November.
It's been months of investigating. Trooper Lene Crane with New York State Police says 58-year-old Maureen Shermer of Geneseo is self-employed.
Maureen, there's a name you don't hear anymore.
It's like a Helen.
That's
or
an
a
older.
Pearl.
That's an older lady name.
Yeah,
is it not?
Sophia.
Yeah. I have a Maureen in my family.
Oh,
Maureen is 75. Yeah.
The youngest Maureen I know is like 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Operates a cleaning service. She was hired to clean homes in the area, but two owners noticed their jewelry and other items were stolen and tipped off police.
So, and then we got involved in the investigation. So at this point, we're looking.
Now, here's the thing. If you thought this was happening in your home, why wouldn't you go get the Nest camera or the Ring camera and set it up and almost bait the person?
Yeah.
Right?
Wouldn't you try make a game out of it?
Wouldn't you try to bait the person and then you go with hard evidence to the police?
What I would do, remember Scott Hansen? He got in some trouble a while back for something different. Yeah, he was the guy To Catch a Predator.
Oh, yeah.
So hey, Scott, you might need a few bucks. Here's what I would do. I would do the Ring cam. I'd set her up.
Is that his name? It wasn't
Scott. I think, or maybe that's the guy.
It was Hansen. I'll think of it. Go ahead.
We haven't think of the guy from the Red Zone channel. But anyway, the point is this dude would catch To Catch a Predator, and he'd catch the pedos, right? So and then he got into some trouble for embezzling money himself or something stupid like that later on, and he lost his gig. But what if you're like, hey, dude, listen, if you need some cash, man, all I need you to do is catch my cleaning lady stealing some stuff, and you swarm in. Hi, ma'am. How are you? Have a seat. Let's talk about what you got in your hand. And then you bring, the Geneseo PD in there, and they swarm her when she leaves. They'll tackle her and stuff.
I
make a whole thing.
I just think you could set a trap yourself. If you think someone, your cleaning lady, and I don't know how many of these women are, you're 50, maybe you're retired, you're looking for a little extra cash. So you're doing it on the side. We had a cleaning lady when I was growing up.
Did you?
Yeah. When my mom worked. When my mom worked, there was more money. When my mom didn't work, there was. So I even went back home for a year and was working midnight to 6 at a radio station. And I'd be sleeping during the day, and Pam would show up. Pam was the cleaner. She would, and then every once in a while she'd be outside smoking. She'd go, "Hi, Billy, how are you?" But Pam was great.
Yeah,
she never. I don't think anything ever went missing. Place always smelled clean. She kept it nice. But I think there were times when things were misplaced. My mother might have called and said, "Hey, did you see this?" And I moved it over there.
To see if there's any other possible victims out there that may know about this.
Court documents say the crimes were committed between January of 2023 and October of 2023, as well as January of 2021 and October of 2023. Shermer allegedly stole items from the home.
That's a long time, right? She laid off for a while.
So you don't notice, you don't notice the stuff is gone.
Missing. Right.
And then all of a sudden you could figure out when it was gone?
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm wondering if we're getting not the full story in that they used a Ring camera or a Nest
homes of 2 victims, $34,000 worth of personal belongings from one home, and
they'll never notice.
Oh gosh, yeah,
that's. I mean,
yeah,
they've got
there's
so
a
much
lot,
stuff.
There's a line in The Sopranos.
They'll never notice.
Where the Polish maid, she always, they have so much stuff, they'll never notice. You could see it in like the because she's speaking Polish, but you could see the translation out on the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking to myself, that's every cleaning lady.
Yeah.
Well, not every, I shouldn't say that, but that's a common thing. Let's put it that
$20,000 worth of personal belongings from another home. Shermer then allegedly pawned the jewelry.
A part of our investigative process would be, anytime we have burglaries or larcenies, things of that nature, we would go normally to pawn shops and see if any of these items would be there.
Police continue to investigate and are asking other victims to come forward.
A lot of times when people come into...
Do you start to feel, let's say she's cleaned your house for a long time. You know her, you know her family, you know her husband, or her ex-husband, or maybe she's a widow. Who knows, right? You just know her. Do you start to feel bad and go,
her family members that got deported?
Yeah, I mean, do you feel a little bad and not say anything like, oh, yeah,
I'll tell you
that's
what.
where the tennis bracelet, I bet the tennis bracelet, I thought I lost it.
My grandmother would feel bad for people like this, right?
Yes.
And my father would have to go and square up and get them he would start cracking some heads because they weren't paying their rent for my grandmother or whatever, or stuff like that. I could see people feeling bad to an extent, but if it's a family heirloom, or if it's something like,
she's going to get judged, right? But if I all of a sudden realize, oh my God, I bet she took the thing. I may say, let's say I'm married, or someone in my family says to me, I bet that's where it went, and I go, let it go. Let it go. We've already replaced it. We claimed it on the insurance. You're good. Just let it go. Why pile on? She's already getting.
Remember those Cash for Gold stores?
Yes.
Howard Stern and MC Hammer and what's his name? Ed McMahon would all advertise this stuff. It was like a short time period where everyone was talking about Cash for Gold. So then all these other pawn shops said, hey, we'll just call ourselves Gold for Cash. People think it's the same thing. They must have made a fortune off people's theft.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Tons.
It'd be ridiculous.
Your home to clean it. Sometimes things will be out of place, right? And you're like, this is interesting. This might be missing. They'll call, their cleaner and say, hey, do you know where this is? And maybe it's there, maybe it's not there, right? And you kind of chop it up to, oh, maybe we lost it. I don't know. I misplaced it.
According to Trooper Crane and these court documents, Shermer has been charged with 2 separate counts of felony grand larceny.
All right, there you go.
Can you imagine if they took trophies or something? And brought those, because
and melt them down.
Yeah. Hey, and then your nephew walks into the pawn shop. Hey, I know Uncle Tony. That's his tennis trophy from 1979.
Well, those things are usually they're usually just crap. But who knows what look, a tennis bracelet, which is a diamond bracelet. Hey, go for a couple grand.
Oh yeah,
right. You're never going to get what you paid for it when it comes to jewelry. So have you ever trapped somebody in a lie? Like ever trap somebody almost along the lines? Years ago, I
have, but I know I have. I just can't recall the specifics of it.
I stole.
Oh, like my ex-wife messing around on me. Yeah. I go Bill Moran PI.
Right.
And Berkeley Breen were out there in Bushnell's Basin and saw the whole thing.
I feel terrible about.
What do you feel terrible about? You should feel great.
Why?
Because you told me what I needed to know, man. That's a friend, man. That's a true friend. True friends tell the truth, man. Dude, man, you saved me a ton of money, too.
I don't know what I did or didn't do. I just know that it was very uncomfortable.
Danny.
I did not want to make a scene
She's
in the
this
place.
guy, he's like 20 years older than her.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, I know the guy.
Yeah.
I know who he is.
Right.
Was he a cop? Yep.
Yeah.
I know who he is.
Well,
From Webster? Yeah, I know who he is.
all right, yeah. We've told this story.
Had a weird jaw? Yeah, I know who he is.
Podcast. I don't remember.
By the way, remember that time that we were doing a live podcast and he showed up and he was dancing with... No, never mind.
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I don't... well, anyway. I once did a bit from the Old Man Show. The Man... I think that's where I got it from. I was doing afternoons live from somewhere. Might have been TC Hooligans when it was out in
Where was that? Where BTB is
where
now.
BTB is now. And I went in the bathroom and I poured a little bit of beer and we dropped a candy bar in there. So it looked like there was, and then dropped like a $5 bill. And we went every so often.
The honesty test.
We would go back and see if the $5 bill was still there. And sure enough, it wasn't after a while. And so then we kept trying to track it. We found out the guy who took it, he's like, you want it back? I go, no. I just think that you would reach in thinking it looked like there was shit and piss in the bowl.
Yeah.
And you fished out a $5 bill. Maybe we did a 10. I don't know. I think we started with 5. No one took it. So then we switched it to 10. And that's when it went.
Have you seen the Max show Bookie yet with Sebastian Maniscalco?
No.
It's pretty funny. So the first episode, the guy goes to collect his debts. And he's like, "What's that smell?" "Oh man, he wiped his you know what with it." Right? So then he hands the money to his wife because she's upset. She goes, "What's that smell?" "The guy wiped his you know what." Oh, so she's like washing the money and then hanging it out on the. She's hanging it out.
All right.
On the clothesline.
All right. They tell you money's the filthiest thing. I'm going to throw up.
But she like washed it and then hung it up to dry.
You have to.
Yeah.
That's it. Wash your money. I think there was something on TikTok about washing your money because my 13-year-old was washing his money when he came to visit me. He washed his money.
Oh, sure.
I'm like, let's slow down here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a moment. We're going to talk to Peter Montemerno, who watched the All-22, getting ready for the what really I believe is the biggest game in Josh Allen's career so far. Bills, Kansas City at home.
I can't say. Well,
at home. I mean, this is really, to me, look, we talk about the window. This is the window. And I'll say my piece, and then you guys can tell me if you agree or disagree. A great place to watch the game is where we were for the Bills and the Steelers, and that is BTB, Wood-Fired Pizza and Grill. They're in the mall at Grease Ridge. It's so much more than wood-fired pizza.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, my gosh. I ate the whole pizza myself.
You did?
Yeah. So, okay, Beth. Poor Beth. She goes, so she had already eaten before, so she goes, "Hey, if you want to order something, you go ahead." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'll share it with you."
Yeah.
I ordered the pizza, right?
Right.
I at least ate 75% of the pizza.
Yeah.
I think she had one slice and took the other 3 home for lunch.
That's good. But
I still don't think she had those yet.
I had, all I did was have a shareable that I didn't share with anybody, the Chips 3-Way. But I would recommend, the weather's been a little cold. We're going to get some snow over the next couple of days. The 3-alarm burger. This sounds so good to me.
Wow.
3-alarm burger. I love this kind of stuff.
Now, I am afraid, you're talking about fears. I am afraid of peppers.
This is a half-pound burger topped with Cajun seasoning, pepper jack, jalapenos, Nashville hot, and onion ring.
Oh, jeez.
Served with fries, but you can exchange that for the chips. I mean, one's no better than the other. Their fries are fantastic. I just really love their chips.
I hope you get like a glass of milk with that, too, because you're going to need to put out the flames.
I don't know, man. It doesn't sound that hot to me.
Okay.
Pepper jack cheese. I've been doing that, cayenne peppers, I'll drink that sometimes. I'll mix it into water.
Well, yeah, because it's supposed to help you build your metabolism.
Yeah. Burn it all up, baby. That's it. But BTB Wood-Fired Pizza and Grill. Get out 50 TVs, not a bad spot to watch it. And if you're a Bills fan, it's like, to me, if you can't get to the stadium,
go to BTB.
Yeah, because they play the shout song.
Yeah.
It's just a great atmosphere. Everybody's having fun. I love watching everybody dance around. And as we get deeper into the game, people get a little looser, especially if the Bills are winning.
Oh, yeah.
And
they're ordering more and more pitchers.
Yeah. Always great specials there. You can get, 5 Labatt.
Yeah, be careful with that shareable.
5 in a bucket of 5 for $15. All kinds of great deals out there. BTB Wood-Fired Pizza and Grill in the mall at Grease Ridge. Right back.